Warning, the following podcast is brought to you by dads who think cereal counts as dinner. Welcome to the All Pro Dad Podcast.
Hey, this is the All Pro Dad Podcast, and I'm Ted Lowe, and today I'm joined by my good buddies, Mr. BJ Foster, father of, what'd you say, 14?
Gosh, two.
Feels
like 14 sometimes.
Feels like 14.
Yeah, my wallet got nervous. When
Feels like 14.
That. I can't handle two.
Just a little punch in the gut, just the very thought of it. Well, I have 4, and so it's double the punch in my gut.
Exactly.
Yeah, depending on whatever season they're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bobby,
hey man,
father of how many?
3.
Yeah, that's a lot of kids. So together we have a lot of kids and a lot of questions.
We do. It's really cool to sit down and talk in the All Pro Dad Podcast about our kids and what's important with our kids. And doing so, I try to do a lot of research ahead of time. We look for studies that support all the things we're doing. So I came across some very interesting research. It was an article from Psychology Today. I want to read straight from it because it's really interesting stuff. It was titled 18 Long-Term Studies Getting Married Does Not Make You Happier. That caught my attention. So I was like, I got to read this, right? So here's right from the study. It says, except for that initial short-lived honeymoon effect for life satisfaction, getting married did not result in getting happier or more satisfied. In fact, for life satisfaction, relationship satisfaction, the trajectory over time headed in the less satisfied direction. So to kind of summarize that, it means being married is not what makes you happy. It's what you do when you're married that makes you happy. And that made me think a little bit about our marriages. We're all married here. When's the happiest time that you have ever seen your wife?
I know and I've got a photo of it, is when I gave my wife a puppy.
Well, that'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we just first got married.
So you do that every week?
Yeah. We have so many dogs.
It's really expensive.
So many dogs. A puppy. I've tried other things and it's just puppies. No, it's, well, watching her now, I think when all kids are together and even our big kids are home and we're sitting around telling stories and they're remembering things from their childhood that's probably not accurate, but we laugh anyway. I think that's the happiest that I see her.
So when you gave her the puppy, what was her initial surprise?
Cute. She was thrilled out of her mind. That turned out to be the craziest dog because it's from a puppy mill. And it was like, oh, hey, you're cute, but you're crazy.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So kids are kind of the same way. They're cute, but they're crazy.
Yeah.
What about you, BJ? What's the happiest you've ever seen your wife?
Multiple times. It's when she has planned something for the family and it comes to fruition and it's successful.
Yeah.
You can see the look of satisfaction on her face. Or if I turn to her and kind of say, this has been really amazing.
Nice.
She's like, really? I mean, it kind of has that, she kind of has that gleeful look when you get to see her be a visionary for something and then see it come to actually fruition.
Very cool.
And then you noticing it.
Yeah.
Bringing it up.
Yeah.
That seems like, really?
Yeah. Me or the kids noticing it, normally my son's like, this is okay. He's like,
but your wife knows this was a hit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
That's good. You're queuing up the joy. I love it.
Yeah. What about you, Bob?
Oh man, my wife, same thing. We got a dog. What is it with dogs, man? We got this dog and she was so overjoyed, and that dog follows her around like her shadow. It's like her best buddy. She was so excited. I mean, outside of our wedding, that was the happiest day. Of course, she got to marry me. But outside of that, the dog for sure. Yeah. And I didn't want the dog initially. And I still don't really want the dog, to be honest, but it made her happy. So it's great.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah. So Ted, going back to you've done the dog thing just like I have. I want to know, what did you do in that moment when you saw your wife light up when you gave her the dog?
Oh, it was incredible. It took me forever to plan it. We had no money to do it. I bought it from the wrong place because I shouldn't have bought it from a puppy mill, but I didn't even know. That was before the internet. We knew what a puppy mill was. Yeah. But I think I just smiled back and rejoiced with her. I'm going to bring the photo. It's one of my favorite photos of over 30 years of her. Make a poster, actually. Makes us all happy. Okay. That leads us to the big question of the week is, why does being happy when your wife is happy make you both happy?
Now, we're not talking, I want to be very clear, we're not talking about happy wife, happy life here, because there's a lot of people that have issues with that. Is that what
I have an issue with that?
You have an issue with that.
That's why I wanted to bring that up. It's because I've been working with married couples for a long time, almost as long as we've been married. And so when I hear happy wife, happy life, or if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, it makes women sound manipulative and they only going to be happy when they get what they want. And let's be honest, our wives are serving us, serving our kids. They're doing so much. So this is a way different concept than happy life, happy wife. The research shows that when we rejoice with our spouse, it creates feel-good chemicals in their brain that floods their body. So when you get excited about something, you want to rush and tell somebody, right?
Yeah.
And the reason is, again, it multiplies what's already feeling good in your brain, in your body. So we want our wives to think of us when something great happens.
That aligns very closely with a Harvard study that I came across. It was called The Contagion of Happiness. This is what the study said. In collaboration with James Fowler, who's actually on staff with the University of California, San Diego, Harvard Medical School researcher Nicholas Christakis found that there is an increased probability that you will be happy if you're around happy people, which kind of makes sense, right? Happiness can spread between people, but also it means happiness can spread between spouses, which is really good news for us as husbands. Christakis said this, quote, rather than asking how we can get happier, we should be asking how we can increase happiness all around us. And when you make positive changes in your own life, those effects ripple out from you and you can find yourself surrounded by the very thing that you fostered. But I think is a really cool quote. And there's another one from someone that you've leaned on a lot, Dr. Shelley Gable from University of California. She said, how we celebrate is more predictive of a strong relationship than how we fight. So happiness is contagious. If you want it to be in your house, you have to cultivate that with you and your spouse.
Yeah, and it makes sense. That was dating, right? You would create situations to rejoice with each other and hang with each other and be happy for each other. But there's some reasons that we are sometimes not so happy when they get happy, or we don't reflect that back and let them know, hey, that's great. I'm very excited that you're excited. One, let's just be really honest. Dads, they're listening, and three of us, is we're just not interested in the topic.
Quite often. Yeah, quite often.
I could catch myself to going, you're very excited about something that, that clean junk drawer does not bring me the level of joy that it is bringing you
or
in this
that
moment.
Hallmark movie that's the exact same movie, just different people.
That's the
every
biggest
single
scam of our
Hallmark movie.
generation.
Oh, it's the worst.
You're like, oh, okay.
But my wife loves them, and so we watch them. It's important to her.
It's those things, right?
Mine is the British period pieces. There's a whole laundry list of those shows that are on in our house 24/7.
Oh, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. Should we stop for prayer?
No, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
Another reason that we don't get happy when our wives gets happy is it's not new to us, right?
Sure.
It's not new to us. We're like, wait a minute. Are we still going back there? Is this still a thing for you? Another reason is her happiness, or whatever's making her happy, is challenging your happy. All right. My wife and her girlfriends have gone on a vacation, just the four of them, for the last 15 years.
Nice.
And when her kids were younger, I remember her saying, hey, we've got the plan. And she was very excited. And I kind of had a look on my face. She goes, what's that? I'm like, it's just always a little tough when you're gone. I was like, that's just bad marriage 101, friends. I'm just going to tell you. But it broke her heart. And I'm thinking, after everything she does to serve our family, she's going to be gone a few days. Plus, I'm just going to take them to my parents and to go fishing. I mean, that's how that's going to work.
So, one of the things that my wife loves to do, again, she loves to be the visionary. She loves to plan things. But normally that involves my implementation of it.
Yeah.
So anytime she has an elaborate plan, I know it's up to me to kind of step in and go, okay, well, this is how it can be. This is how we can do this. This is how we can get done. Or it might even be, she might even have the plan, but I know I'm going to be a huge part of being involved in it. So she normally will say something like, okay, I want to do this thing for the entire community. And I'm like, okay, sounds really, huge bash. And we're going to do this. And I'm like, okay, that's great. And she's like, and you're going to MC it. And I'm like, right. Okay.
So
gotcha.
are you the 30,000 feet guy? I mean, she at the 30,000 feet idea person and you're the implementer?
Well, she's both. She's the implement. She's details and she's got the third. She's like this weird, amazing combination of both. But And then she'll do a lot of things, but when it comes to, okay, I got to bring the spirit of it. I got to bring all the upfront stuff and all the, okay, we're going to even this weekend, we're going to do a sleepover for my daughter for her birthday, and she wants to have a game night. So she's planning all these, and who's leading the game night?
Yeah.
This guy. So there's always, it's like anytime she says, okay, I have an idea. I'm like,
No.
okay. All right. What is it? And what am I going to be doing?
Because you're going to be head of logistics,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
And when I say, okay, that sounds really fun, you can see it in her face.
Sure. Yeah.
All
That's
right.
awesome.
So those are some reasons that it makes it difficult for us to get happy when our wives get happy. But here are some reasons we should be happy when our wives are happy.
Okay.
Number one, it seems like a simple thing, but this being happy when they're happy is a really, really big deal because it makes them feel validated.
Yeah.
It connects them to us. I mean, you want to be around the person that gets happy when you get happy, that rejoices when you get happy. The other is it makes her feel appreciated. Like you're seeing me, I think that in many ways says, hey, this is a reward for me in my life for these good things to happen, and you're appreciating me.
So recently my wife has started doing sourdough bread, which it's so delicious. Love it. Big fan of this new hobby. But I've noticed it makes her really happy. I don't know why the measuring out of flour and the mixing of ingredients makes her happy, but it really does. I think it's because it's part of the process, and the end result is she's feeding her family this bread. And I love the bread. It's really great. But I've gotten excited for her at night. She's like, oh, I got to feed the starter. I'm like, okay, I'll go stand there and I'll watch you do it and everything. It's kind of cool to see her share that experience. I'm not doing anything. I'm not adding flour. I don't know the chemical formula for it, but she loves it. And it's really kind of a neat thing that we've gotten to do recently. And I know there's bread coming, so that really makes me happy too.
But you had to have the radar, right?
But she feels appreciated because I'm validating her in this way, saying, hey, what you're doing, I see you love it. I love it too. Let's go hang out in the kitchen while you do it. So these 3 points really resonate with me.
And that speaks to this whole idea of having a radar with our wives emotionally, and this includes when they're happy, that we're watching, we're in tune when they are happy. But if we're not watching for that, we're not going to know that sourdough is a big old deal.
No, it is.
So we want to make this super simple. And this is one of those principles that I love talking about to married couples, because it's like, okay, if dads, you're driving down the road or you are in the gym, whatever, going, I promise these action steps, these are doable.
Yeah.
Action step number one is when she smiles, you smile back. Smile when she smiles.
Yeah.
Right? You just reflect that back.
I mean, this is one of the things that I think is big for me, because, like I said, my wife's a visionary. She loves to do things, and there's multiple reasons why when she says, "Okay, I've been thinking about something," that it gets me. Number one, it's okay. I'm going to need to implement something, but number two, there tends to be a significant cost a lot of times with her visions, and so there are times when we'll have conversations where we're like, okay, we're not doing well financially. We really need to buckle down, and we really need to start saving more and more. And finance is something that gets me really stressed out when it goes bad. And so we will just have that conversation, and she'll agree, and I'll feel more at ease. And I'm like, okay, we're on the same page. And the very next day, she'll say, okay, so I want to take a trip to Europe, and I want to go here, here, and here, and my stress goes through the roof. Yeah. And she'll say, okay, you've got a furrowed brow. What's going on? And I'm feeling all the tension inside. But the reality is she's not saying, I want to do this right now. What she's doing is she's dreaming about stuff she wants to do as a family, stuff she wants to bond with. And for years, I was always so frustrated because I thought, I feel like we just had a conversation about this, like about saving money. And I'm thinking, you just thrown that out the window and you wanted to now take a trip to Europe tomorrow. And I would get mad, and I'd be like, I have this internal, and I would say, we can't do that. Like, I don't know when we'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
And that sprout. It's making me afraid right now.
Well, and so it was like taking ice water and throwing it in her face.
Yeah.
What she wanted to do was just dream with me.
And so you just smile and you just engage with her when she gets excited about that. Yeah.
When I say, gosh, that sounds like an amazing trip. Like, I love that. And all of a sudden it gets, and you know, like a month later or 2 months later, she's like, yeah, I don't know when we'll ever be able to go to Europe. Like looking at our finance, you know, like I just let her arrive at that conclusion.
Just be happy.
She's going to arrive at it. But when I get excited and I start to dream with her and smile with her and get excited with her in that, that's when she gets really happy.
Nice.
I love that, BJ. I love that you figured this out with Elizabeth, because Nancy had to figure it out with me. And one of the ways we figured this out is I had a mentor, and he was very buttoned up and very organized, and his wife was very artistic and always a dreamer. And he said, I learned to say, wow, and not how. He says, look, she's not going to implement 99% of it. Why are you getting so upset? You know, we don't bring anything to fruition, right? And so Nancy will look at me a lot of times and just go, oh, wow. And even though it's a smidge on the condescending side, it's still not the, wait a minute, where's that money coming from? No, we're not knocking down those walls and, you know, adding a sauna. That is not okay. So I love that. Don't say how, say wow.
Is that what you wanted to do? Put in a sauna?
No, but I might tomorrow.
Don't let my wife
puppy
hear
is
you.
way cheaper, man. I would go with the puppy. It's proven and it works.
I don't know if it is cheaper than the sauna. Not my dog, I can tell you that.
Action step number 2, let her know that you know that she's happy. Dr. John Gottman calls these bids for connection, that throughout our marriages, every day, our spouses are making bids for our connection. You know, whether it's affection, whether it's a question, whether it's something as simple as like, hey, look at that, or hey, I want to show you something. And it's profound what he has found with how important this is. He said couples that are the happiest, they take their spouse's bid for connection 87% of the time. Those who would say their marriages are average are like 55%. And those who end up in divorce only respond positively to their spouse's bid for connection 33% of the time. So this is just so huge. And it's just responding. It's not figuring anything out. It's not killing their dreams, right? It's just going, oh, that's awesome.
You know, something I've started doing, and it may seem easy, it may seem subtle, it may seem insignificant, but I think it's really made a difference. When my wife will send me a text during the day, I do some sort of reaction emoji to everything. And I hate emojis. They're not my thing. I just, I don't know what it is about them. They make me mad, but she likes them. And so she'll send me a text and I will put a little heart on it, or I'll put a little exclamation point on it on my iPhone. And it just acknowledges that, yeah, you're happy about this. It's exciting. Here's a picture of my sourdough starter. Super! Exclamation point. like it just makes her feel like I'm joining in with her, you know, like this is really cool. It seems easy, and it really is easy, but it makes a difference. So I've started doing that, and it's kind of a cool thing.
You're accepting her bid for connection with emojis, which you hate, which we need to unpack that.
Why it's enough for an episode entirely.
Sacrifice. What a sacrifice you're making.
my
Stupid
thumb.
emojis. Oh gosh, man. The thumbs up. Anyway. Well, action step number 3, way easier for everyone than emojis, because those action step number 3 is join the fun. Like, don't leave her on an island by herself. My wife, she is a great dancer. I look a lot like that used car salesman thing that blows up and you kind of wave in the wind. Like, that's what I look like when I dance. My arms are 100 feet long.
I can see it.
And it's very, very uncoordinated. That's the right word. But I do it with her. Like, she's getting excited. Her favorite song comes on. She's like, hey kids, look at me. And the kids are like, oh gosh, mom, not again. And then I join in like, oh, this is the worst day ever. But my wife is having fun because I'm willing to look stupid and dance with her and that sort of thing. Join in the fun with her. She's having a good time. Be happy with her by being a part of it. It's not a huge deal. It's a small gesture, but it builds a memory. And I think that's important in your marriage.
Absolutely. Nancy, and we've talked about it on the episode before, aren't we glad our wives don't listen to these podcasts?
Yes. Well, actually, my wife did the other day. And there was a marriage podcast that we did with Jeremy a couple weeks ago, and she listened to it. She goes, that was pretty good. And I was like, did I say anything smart? And she goes,
it's just pretty much all Jeremy.
Yeah, it was all Jeremy.
I really appreciate it, Jeremy.
But she doesn't listen very often. But, you know, this is for dads. This is for husbands. Hopefully it helps them out, you know. And if your wife happens to hear it, great.
This works out.
Yeah.
No, my wife, she is great with money, And so she doesn't spend a lot of money, but when she does, she takes down the global economy.
Oh, gosh.
She will tear it up. She came in the other day with 6 bags stuffed from Old Navy, and she says, "Hey, come with me to the bedroom." I knew it had nothing to do with sex, but I went anyway. And she did exactly what I knew she was going to do. She said, "I got each item out one by one," and she would say, "I got Nikki this, and Teddy this, and I got Chapman this, and Judson this, and I got you this." And then she would say, like she'd always say,
I know it's coming.
"Guess how much?"
Yes.
And what did I used to say? "I don't know. Just tell me." And she'd close down like a Kmart. And so I started after that. Now I'm going to lock in like a game show, right? I'm going to get on. And so now it's like $149. And I'm telling you, she was so excited to tell me nope. And she noped down to 33 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I would be super excited about that.
Oh, yeah.
You got all that for
You got
$3?
Yeah.
Man.
No, don't think
We
you
can go to
dream
Europe
now.
Let's go to Europe.
Can't dream of that.
I love it. Well, guys, I think the more I work with couples, the more I research it, the more it is so clear. It's not the big moments. It's these little moments. And when they're happy and we get happy back, it just matters. It just matters, which leads us to the pro move of the week. And that is to look for opportunities to smile when your wife smiles this week. Smile back and show her you share in her excitement.
I really thought this was a great conversation. I'm going to try to put it into practice at my own home this week, and not just with sourdough. I'm going to smile when my wife smiles and try to connect with her and join in the fun and do some more dances. It'll be great. That was it right there. That was the move.
You don't need to do that.
If it makes my wife smile, I will do that, PJ, even if I look stupid.
Absolutely. You guys, thanks for hanging out as always.
Absolutely.
Hey, and if you're listening to this podcast, did you know you could see it on YouTube, where we have hours and hours of great content? So check that out. As always, thank you for listening. We know that you and your kids will be glad that you did.
Thanks again for listening to the All Pro Dad podcast. Behind every episode is our amazing team. Producer Haley Mawat, audio and video editor Buck Buchanan, and production coordinator Corey Walliff. All Pro Dad is the fatherhood program of the nonprofit Family First. Along with our motherhood program, iMom, we exist to help you love your family well. So remember, if you have more questions than answers, then you're probably in the right place. See you next time.